The crypto market is crashing. The crypto market is crashing right now, and it is crashing hard. We've got Bitcoin for the first time since last October dropping its 200 daily moving average. That is our bull indicator. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? But not only that, altcoins, that's what we're here for. That's what we love, dropping its 200 daily moving average to the downside. So how can you prepare for that? Because things could get nasty in the next couple of days. It might move hard. It might move fast. How can you prepare for that? Okay, so first things first, is it a good time to be selling? Should you be part of this capitulation? What would happen if everybody sold now and joined on to this capitulation, shook out all the weak hands, pushed the price down, then let the strong hands, i.e. the smart money, we're going to talk about that very shortly, buy up at lower levels? Does someone want to buy your bags at lower levels? I'm not going to tell you what to do, guys. We're going to go through risk management. We're going to analyze exactly what could happen on the Bitcoin chart, what could happen on the total 3 chart, whether there could be a strong buyer, and how far we could go down. So we're going to start with the Bitcoin chart. And one thing that we can see on the Bitcoin chart, guys, what do we talk about? If you're in a bull market, what are you doing? You're putting in higher highs and you're putting in higher lows. So that's the first thing you need to be thinking of, guys. Are we putting in higher highs and are we putting in higher lows? Ultimately, once you know that, you can decide when the bull market is officially cancelled, when we're going to get a bear market. When we're going to get a bear market is here. That's the higher low. Stick that. That is 49,000. We're going to get a bear market if we come down all the way from 80,000 to 49,000. Do you think that that's likely? Do you think that's going to be a strong possibility? We haven't even dropped below the 200 daily moving average yet. That's the first thing that we're going to be monitoring today. What happens if we drop it? Where's the next level of support? Because we know where the next level of support is. This was resistance. We would expect this to come back and flip support. So if this comes back and flips support, that's sitting around 72,000. So max pain, 72,000 if we drop the 200 daily moving average. What will that do to altcoins? We'll talk about that very shortly. But what I'm going to do is stick some Fibonacci levels on here, see if there's any sticking points for Bitcoin, see if there's any additional support levels we can talk about. You've got this here. Look at this, guys. These magic numbers, they're amazing sometimes, right? You got 618. 618 coincides with this previous resistance level. You got this build up of price action here, which lasted from the start of this range all the way to the breakout, lasted for 234 days, 3/4 of a year. So it was resistance, resistance, resistance for 3/4 of a year. That would expected to be flipped as support, RS flip, guys. So that's going to be a strong key level, 72,000, and that's going to be the next level if we do drop this 200 daily moving average today. So let's measure that to the downside. A whopping 10%, guys, a whopping 10%. Anyone that's been in Bitcoin for a while, 50, 60, 70%, you can sustain that. You can be happy the next day, guys. 10% to the downside. So that's Bitcoin anyway. If we drop it, we could pull back. We've got like 14 hours and 28 of the day. We've got 14 hours, 28 till the day. If we pull back and hold this 200 daily moving average, by the end of today, guess what? Guys, we're bullish again. We're bullish again. If we pull back down, we know exactly where the next level of support is, 72,000. Now, this is the thing that was concerning me, guys. This is the thing that I was talking on the channel. It was this here, this pattern. Now, this is a diamond top. You often get diamond tops and diamond bottoms. Shows indecision and it shows distribution. So you've got 3 phases in a market. You've got distribution phase here. This is your accumulation. You've got accumulation phase down here. This is where people are buying up. You've got your markup phase where the market's running. And then you've got distribution phase where people are cashing out. And you've got distribution phase when people are cashing out. So there's a high probability that was showing that was a diamond top there, guys. And it was showing if we broke to the downside from the diamond top, then expect further downside until the next resistance, previous resistance, would flip support. So we know that 72,000 is going to be a strong area for support. If we drop this, if we don't drop this, then things are good. We can monitor it going into tomorrow. Total 3 is exactly the same, guys. How far do we need to pull back at total 3 if we drop this? Next level of support is this resistance point, guys. That is sat at 710 billion. 710 billion. So this is collectively the altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So like I say, some will do 20%, some will do 30%, some will do 40%, 50%, whatever. What is the drop here on total 3? 8%. I'm not talking massive numbers here, guys. to test the previous resistance to act as support, but we're putting in higher highs and we're putting in higher lows. This is going to be invalidated all the way down here, 462 billion. That would be half of all of the total crypto altcoins coming, oh, sorry, half of the value of the total crypto altcoins just being completely wiped out in a short amount of time. So ultimately, guys, we're putting in what we're putting in higher highs, coming back, putting in higher lows, putting in higher highs, we're putting in higher lows. Yeah, in the short term on the daily, we might be dropping the 200. We might not drop the 200. That's something that we're going to be monitoring together. But when you look at it on the macro, guys, that was the first two. That was the total three. That was Bitcoin. Higher highs, higher lows. You've got DXYs dropping. Even though that Bitcoin is dropping, hard today, guess what? Dollar's dropping as well. Dollar's not showing any strength. We've got this little candle here. That's going to put in a lower high, and then a continuation to the downside to test its 200 daily moving average. So the dollar, the DXY, is still pulling back. That's really strong. However, look at this. USDT dominance. So the dollar is a measurement of the strength of the dollar against a bag of fiat currencies. We look at the USDT dominance for the strength of the dollar within the crypto market, and look what happened. We were rejected at this 38.2% retracement of this previous swing high. And now we've come all the way up to the 618. We've tested the 618. However, that's at the 618, guys. So we're going to get a rejection, or you'd expect to get a rejection at this 618. And then when you look at the DXY, we were already rejected at, just get that up, already rejected at the 618. So the DXY front run USDT dominance, both in exactly the same position now. This needs to pull back. That needs to pull back. So that's what we're looking for in the short term. Getting a rejection at this 5.6 level, that's going to be strong. We might come back and retest that. If we come back and retest that, expect Bitcoin to have a little bit of a further downside. Because the psychology behind it, guys, if people are selling Bitcoin, what are they selling Bitcoin into? Selling Bitcoin into USDT. So if they're selling Bitcoin into USDT, what's that doing as far as the USDT market cap's concerned? It's taking it out of Bitcoin, putting it in a stable coin. Next thing we're going to look at is the dominance. And this is the thing that is giving me the most hope, guys, because we're not seeing that. We're not seeing a big spike in dominance. We're not seeing a continuation at 64. We're not seeing a continuation at 65, 66. This thing's playing ball, guys. This is weak. We've got a double top. We've got a rejection. We talked about this lower low, lower close candle. All we need now is to drop this trend line. Once we've taken out this 200 daily moving average, surge to the downside. And this is a big move for altcoins. Big move for altcoins, guys. So this is what we're looking for in the short term, is what I'm saying. How is this candle going to play out by the end of the day? All eyes on this, guys. Where can we monitor this? Get yourself in the Discord group. How much does it cost, guys? Completely free, completely free. Leave a link in the description below, guys, because we've got a lot to talk about today. See you in the next one.